records are made to be broken. Humanity has proven that time and again. Setting a record puts your name in the history books amongst legends.
Jeremy's the director.
Yeah, I think we start early and then we'll break when the colors come out. And then open the banner. I may have a lot of things to say from a week ago, so I don't know if we have.
No, I'll just follow your lead, so I won't be overly critical. Why don't we wait till the color guard? The color guard's gonna go out.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we just wait till the color guard goes out? Because we want to keep the attention on that.
Yeah, I think so.
For Veterans Day.
Yeah, and I think I'd like to keep the camera on them. Let them do their thing. And then we'll cut it after. I think that's it.
Here come the Warriors.
Can you hear me? I think I'm out.
Okay.
Can you hear me? Okay.
My wife's never used this. I've read this stuff.
Absolutely never.
You guys can phase out that music anytime.
Okay.
I'm gonna open this door. I'm gonna take my usual location, my usual spot. No, I'm gonna, once we start, I'm going, because I can't see anything from over there. So I'm gonna go right over here.
Before we begin, the fellas are ready to go. Just before we begin, 3, 2, 1. Announcers. 3.
Before we begin the state semifinal football game between two great opponents, we feel that it's most fitting to pause to recognize the 20 million men and women
How far away would we have to be with this?
who have served or are currently serving our country on
Testing 1, 2.
Veterans Day.
Testing 1, 2.
Since the end of World War I, the United
Yeah.
States has honored its veterans.
If we
on the
use
11th
these
day
microphones
of the
for
11th
channel
month.
22, are we going to screw up our
First
feed
as
well?
Armistice Day,
Okay.
and since 1954 as Veterans Day. It is to those 20 million that we owe much thanks and praise, for it is through their efforts and sacrifices that we're able to gather here today as a nation. Former United States Representative Jeff Miller once said, "The willingness of America's veterans to sacrifice for our country has earned them our lasting gratitude." We would respectfully ask that any veterans in the crowd please stand so that all who are gathered here can show our gratitude with a round of applause. Our final thought as we honor our nation's veterans on this 99th anniversary of this national holiday, the words of President John F. Kennedy are most worthy of repeating. As we express our gratitude, we must never forget that the highest appreciation is not to utter words, but to live by them. At this time, I'd like to announce our color guard for presentation of colors and the national anthem by the Winnacunnet Pep Band. Presenting the colors this afternoon is the Winnacunnet High School Marine Corps JROTC Color Guard. The Color Guard Sergeant is Cadet Staff Sergeant Ryan Wilson. And carrying our national anthem is Cadet Second Lieutenant Andrew Volkner. They are escorted by Cadet Captain Celeste Stanwood and Cadet Sergeant Jason Ramos. Now, ladies and gentlemen, would you please rise, remove your caps, and honor America with the playing of our national anthem by the Winnacunnet High School Pep Band under the direction of Mr. Ken Martin.
Good afternoon and welcome to the campus of Winnacunnet High School for this afternoon's Division I semifinal between the hometown Winnacunnet Warriors and the Goffstown Grizzlies. Alongside, I have MH Libby. And MH, we're to the Final Four in the state tournament, and your Winnacunnet Warriors are one of those 4 teams.
Yeah, and they're going to face a very, very tough Goffstown team, Keith. Ever since September 30th when they played the regular season, it was a 9-6 win for Winnacunnet. We expected to see this Goffstown team come back again.
Certainly Winnacunnet had a very competitive Goffstown team. Certainly Winnacunnet was trailing pretty much most of the second half, and escaped with a win and skinned their teeth by being able to get a last-second touchdown to overcome Goffstown 9-6.
And both teams had very difficult first-round games, Keith. We were here, and you called the game against Bedford, which was an incredible football game, where Winnacunnet won in overtime. And on the other hand, Goffstown beat a very pesky Exeter team by 2 points, even though Exeter had lost its best running back for the second half.
Certainly, in terms of these types of wins, Goffstown had one of the toughest defenses. I think probably one of the toughest defenses you're going to see in Division I this year.
They're very similar teams. They're both very strong defensive clubs. They will hold you to very few points, or are supposed to hold you to very few points. So it's almost like a mirror image of each other.
Yeah, absolutely. As the teams get ready here, you'll greet the captains, greet the rest of the clubs. We're just about here ready to go against 1 o'clock kickoff today. The other Division I semifinal, and be another good one, will be Salem hosting Pinkerton. And again, out of these pods, those are the remaining 4, and Salem the only other undefeated in Division I this year so far.
And I think it's Salem, Keith, that's missing one of their top running backs who was suspended for the game. And so it's Pinkerton, who lost to Salem early in the season, will have a real good opportunity.
So as the teams get ready here, from a weather perspective, certainly as blessed as we've been with great fall weather, golf weather, as you call it, It seems like it's about time to put those golf clubs away in nature. It's a brisk, barely 30 degrees here. A little bit of breeze as well, so very cold day today.
Yeah, it's really cold today, and I think that wind could be swirling by mid-afternoon, so that may also become a factor. Both teams have very good kicking games, so that may come into play.
Yeah, if we look at the flags, certainly the flag is definitely the outstanding Winnacunnet kicker, is ready to tee this thing up for the initial semifinal. This time it's
They have a very interesting, Goffstown has a very interesting way of returning kicks. Whoever receives the ball turns toward the people behind him and makes a decision who he's going to give it to.
Very similar team in Winnacunnet, as I mentioned. They like to run the football a lot. Quarterback Keith.
It's having an issue with
As well as Jack Stinnett, you'll see featured. The first down and 10. Duval, probably one of the best players in the state. And you also see him here in the backfield. Looks like we're just about ready to go here. First down and 10. Shotgun look. Keith in the shotgun. He keeps the football.
Well, let me tell you, the kid has been in the middle the entire time. He's just a fantastic player. I think it was, remember, it was Big Jim Fennessy? Yeah. And he's just had an unbelievable season this year.
So loss of 2 right off the bat for Goffstown. Second down, ball spotted at the. So this is clearly one way to get Goffstown 1-3. This time it gives.
Yeah, Keith will look to run first, throw second. The three people you'll see really actively involved in the offense, obviously the quarterback, Keith, Andrew Duval, and Stinnett. They're the ones that really handle the ball a lot for Goffstown in the opening game in September.
Okay, so here we go. Third down and 7. Keith in shotgun. He's looking to throw the rolls to his left. He takes a good hit. Possession of defense for the Warriors.
Good pressure by the offensive line, or the defensive line for Winnacunnet, and he overthrew the receiver who really wasn't open. He was very well covered on the far side of the field.
So 3 and out here for Goffstown, and back is Evan Welch, number 3 Ranger. Also looking at the 40-yard line to take this opening punt for Goffstown. Full protect here for the Grizzlies. Here's the snap. It's a good snap. Kick is a decent kick.
It's a good kick. I believe he did. He called for a fair catch. Evan Walsh called for a fair catch back there and then decided he might have a little room after he called the fair catch. But they'll end up a very good field position to start their first offensive series. Smart play by Pat McDougal. He took his time, rolled over toward us on this side of the field, looked, nothing was open downfield, and took off. And, you know, we don't talk, Keith, about Pat McDougal enough. He's such a talented quarterback that you get lazy. You just assume that he's going to be there, and he's just such a talented kid, and he's got a fantastic arm.
So first play of the game, they pick up 14. Pat McDougal under center, first down once again. Warriors. This time they give on first down.
Jordan Fuller. Again, nice read by Pat's gotten much better on that, Keith, too, giving it the late handoff to his running backs or keeping it himself. And so right away, Winnacunnet showing that they can move the ball against this tough Goffstown club.
So gain of 6 here on first down. It's going to bring up the 2nd and 4. 9 minutes, 40 seconds left here in first quarter. Winnacunnet crosses midfield on their opening drive here in first quarter. Pat McDougal once again on the second down. This time it's a good get. It's a good push. It looks like it's
Looks like the Winnacunnet Warrior offensive line has really challenged itself, Keith. They know that the Goffstown defense is superior, an excellent defense for New Hampshire, and they've taken it and pushed that defensive line right back first few plays.
On their opening drive here. Powers offset to the right, Fuller offset to the left. First down. This time they dive in once again. They get a push on the first down. First down. It's a very good opening circumstance for Winnacunnet.
And Winnacunnet really has a great opportunity because Fuller can run inside between the tackles very well, and everybody knows that Billy Powers has incredible speed. They send him on the outside. They've got several weapons they can go after, and Pat McDougal's ability to throw the ball.
Second down and short, ball spot at the Goffstown 34. 8 minutes and 25 seconds of counting here first quarter. Pat McDougal wants to go for some second. Gives to Fuller again, and he's got tough running. He's got more than enough for a first down. All the way down to 29.
And Jordan Fuller, who's a sophomore, ladies and gentlemen, is a super sophomore. He started the entire season as a sophomore this year, and he really has gone beyond expectations. Keith, would you agree?
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, it's really nice. Like you've got a really quick back like Powers, offset a back like Fuller. It really makes it very difficult for the defense to key on one or another. It's a good complement. So first down and 10, ball spotted again at the 29. There it is. This time they run it to Powers, and he's got a really good game. Great job so far by the Winnacunnet offensive line. They've been really making goals, more than we saw in that first opening matchup.
Oh, that's for sure. And folks, if you haven't watched this Winnacunnet Warrior offense, we've talked about Pat McDougal, just a fantastic quarterback. But his primary target is Evan Welch, who has really had a really superb season.
Yeah, Evan certainly both sides of the football. As effective as he is as probably the primary target for Pat, he's played an amazing job in the secondary for Winnacunnet on defense. Second down and 5. This time they run a little counter, a couple of yards for Fuller. Be a third and short coming up for Winnacunnet, ball spotted at the Goffstown 22.
Another great weapon, Keith, for the Winnacunnet Warriors is Joe McDougal, the junior brother of Patrick, and he's really developed as the season went on both sides of the football.
Yeah, absolutely. Certainly in the way that they run the mirror, they can sneak Joe out in patterns behind the first level of defense when they start committing to the run. This time, third and short, and Fuller stretches, and it's going to be very close to a first down, and I think they have it.
They've called the first down.
Ball spotted almost down at the 18, so first and 10. Winnacunnet, excellent opening drive. 5 minutes, 33 seconds left, first quarter. No score here from Winnacunnet High School at Alumni Outfit. Same look once again. One receiver out to the far side. They go big with a 2 tight end look. With McDougal on one side, Markland on the other. Split backs, first down. This time, McDougal keeps it. He's heading to the corner of the end zone and stretches to the far in the flag. He's got a touchdown, and he's going to be just short, probably on that sideline. First and goal coming up on a great play by Pat.
And he's really, I mentioned this earlier, Keith, he's really developed the ability to hold that ball and pull it back, and it's his call, whether he hands the ball off to the wide or to the back or not. He's really developed it nicely over the year.
So first and goal, Winnacunnet has gone big this first possession. Basically lined up with 2 tight ends and just having a 1 wide receiver. Here Pat will come under center. First and goal. Yeah, he's sneaking it in. And Pat is able to run behind the good push of his offensive line. And just like that, Winnacunnet gets on the board first. They are in the lead, 6-0, ending the extra point.
It's huge, Keith, because in the first game in September, Winnacunnet didn't score until the fourth quarter. And so to get on the field, your first drive, and get a lead, the momentum is definitely with them. And now they can put their defense back in the field, which is apparently their strength, or allegedly their strength. I think they're equally strong, but if you read all the articles, and it's good.
And you're right, it made chance. The teams head back upfield, and Winnacunnet has a 7-0 lead. One of the things that's very evident here so far is that the offensive line and the defensive line play for Winnacunnet, at least in the first two drives, was dominant.
And I think that everybody expected that. The predictions were this would be a very low-scoring game, Keith, because of the 9-6 game that they played in September. But if you look at what happened last week, Winnacunnet gave a lot of points up to Bedford, and Goffstown was giving up a lot of points to Exeter. So this may be more of an offensive game than everybody expected.
Especially these types of games, we saw last week, against a really good offensive team like Bedford, they need to put up 34 points to win. So just sitting back here, 9-6 game. Gagnon hits a good ball. He's going to back up the Grizzlies back to the 6-yard line. And this time they've run a little bit of a misdirection. A handoff to number 20, who's up the sidelines, and a good return for the Goffstown Grizzlies. That was Carter Chenard, the 5'9", 183-pound senior.
It's interesting on those kickoff returns. We expected that, but they play such misdirections. There's the receiver of the initial receiver of the ball turns his back to the defense, and there's 2 or 3 players coming up that are available to take it up the field, and it was very successful right there. Intercepted. He has really turned into an unbelievable defensive back, Keith. I can remember him getting beat badly one play the entire season.
This time Fuller leads 5. First down. You're going to
Patrick McDougal with the ball carrier. Pick up 3 yards. 2nd and 7 for the Warriors.
So MH, so far, very good start for Winnacunnet.
Very good start for Winnacunnet. We expected, in the first meeting, folks, Pat McDougal threw the ball 25 times, which is a lot more than he traditionally does. He's usually under 10. But they've been able to move the ball on the ground, so I don't expect them to change it much.
This time Pat looks to throw, and the pass intended for his office fingertips. He was only.
Ball was showing a little bit high. It had a lot of heat on it, Keith. So, but he was open. I mean, the bottom line is the pass was incomplete, but Joe was wide open.
Yeah, we can see some players have gloves on today, and just some people ultimately today. We talked about it earlier. It's pretty chilly.
Yeah, it's going to be sprint. Move over.
We just have winter hats on. 3rd down, 7.
Sprint.
Here comes Pat McDougal. He looks to throw, and he's out. He's going to run for a first down.
Pat McDougal, let's be honest, folks, there's one guy on offense that handles the ball every single time, or 2, the center and the quarterback. And Pat has made excellent decisions today so far, and it was just a really good athletic play, maintaining his balance to get that first down. Well covered there, Keith. I expect that you're going to see a little bit of more of Fuller right at the middle. Fuller's had a lot of success. So if they can get Billy outside, he's gone, as we know, because he's so fast. But there's so many options on this Winnacunnet offense.
So they've been switching off between two tight end and receiver looking out here. Break as Tyler checks in. Still are looking to run big, two tight end look. Split backs in the bigger second down and 10. Fuller is able to gain about 5 yards.
Now they've seen something right up the middle for Jordan Fuller so far today. The first game, folks, in September, there was absolutely nothing there. I think Winnacunnet ran for 114 yards the entire game, and they've found all of a sudden the coaching staff must have seen something because they're having no trouble moving the ball on the ground. Once again, Jordan, but just a super decision by Pat McDougal when to give the ball up and when to keep it. And that's his call, like I said. Coaching staff has enough confidence in him to make the appropriate decision, and he's doing it.
All right, well, this is going to bring up a 4th and short. It looks like Winnacunnet's going to go for this. 2 minutes, 48 seconds of counting in the first quarter. So a really big test here so far for Goffstown. 4th and short. Kind of goes big again, looking to potentially run out of the sphere. We didn't get a double give. It's to Powers, and he's stopped in the backfield. A great tackle by number 78, Evan, and they turn it over on downs, MH.
Really good defensive play. I think it was possible of getting a little overconfident because they were able to move the ball so well in the first set, but that Goffstown team is going to stand up. They've had a fantastic defense all year, and they went right into the strength of Goffstown, which is that line.
Yeah, we saw it last couple months ago when they came out here, and they were probably the most difficult, most impressive line we saw all year by anyone who looked at the defense playing. So,
By far, too, Keith. I mean, not even close.
Goffstown takes over possession, first down and 10 close by.
I think, Keith, that the coaching staff for Goffstown has gone to school a little bit on the Bedford tape from last week because Bedford was really able to move the ball nicely against this Winnacunnet defense. And while we expect Keith to be looking to run first, he's been looking to pass immediately.
Yeah. So Keith again in shotgun, 2nd down and 10. He looks to throw. He scrambles to his left. He's got a little bit of room. He heaves it up the sideline, and it's overthrown, incomplete. Coverage over there by number 16, Tyler Hoare.
That was a very dangerous throw, Keith. And we know that Walsh has already got 1 interception today, and that was a dangerous throw. But Goffstown's shown us they're coming after them. They're going to throw the ball today.
Yeah, we certainly saw them run the football a lot in the first meeting, and that's because they've got a very good offensive line, MH.
Yeah.
But maybe both teams today realize that they may have to mix it up a little bit. Again, there's really nothing to lose here today. Division I semifinal. You obviously want to keep doing what you're doing, but on a 3rd down, Keith's going to run the football, and he's not going to get the first down. He picks up about 6. The ball's going to be spotted at the Goffstown 47, and there'd be about 4 yards short with 2 minutes and 3 seconds left here, first quarter.
And I think what the Goffstown coaching staff is looking to do is they've got to get Duval involved in this game. He's one of the best players in the state, if not the best player in the state. So they'll be looking to get him involved and get him some touches.
So punting unit on once again for Goffstown. Again, you've got Granger and Welch standing at their own 20. Here's the kick. It's a good kick. Fair catch once again, this time fair caught by Granger at the 23, where Winnacunnet will take over for their third possession of the first quarter.
So that Winnacunnet defense who's been standing up all year, stands up immediately again after giving them relatively good field position. So they're back in the field, and that's the strength of this club.
Yeah, and one of the things that we've seen not saying that's going to happen today, but certainly Winnacunnet, with running the amount that they do over time, can wear teams down over time. And the more that defense is going to be on the field, the more tired they will get, especially in the second half. So anyway, 1st and 10 coming up. Winnacunnet again goes in a very big formation. 1st down. This time Pat looks to throw. He's got a receiver. It's Evan on and out, and he's picked up 8 yards on 1st down. Good play.
A really smart play. And once again, if McDougal's going to throw the ball, his primary target's going to be Evan Welch.
Yeah, I don't think we've really seen that formation all year, MH. They sort of ran a really tight two tight end formation. They had Evans sort of flanked, and he ran an out, and it was open, and the throw was a strike. So good play by Winnacunnet. 2nd down and short, ball spotted at their own 33.
Well, we talked about that. It's difficult to beat the same team twice, twice in the season, and you're going to have to switch some things up, and that was one of the switch-ups.
So under center, Pat McDougal again, 2nd down. This time they give out of the...
Billy Powers, I believe.
Yeah, it was Billy. Got up to the 40. I almost thought he got a slight head start there, but 1st down nonetheless. It was timed perfectly. He really hit that hole really, really fast. So 1st down. He
was one step away, Keith. If he didn't get tackled by that the last tackler there, he was gone.
So ball spotted at the Winnacunnet 40. 1st and 10. 1 minute, 5 seconds left here, 1st quarter, and a pretty dominant quarter for the Warriors. Evan over there on the far side, split backs on 1st down. This time they run the football and they get about 3. Looks like that was Fuller on the carry.
So what we're seeing is a steady diet of Fuller, of Powers, and an occasional pass to Evan Welch, Keith.
Yeah, that's what you're seeing, no doubt. Not a real surprise, MH.
No, it's not. And, of course, Pat keeping the ball at his discretion whether to keep the ball or hand the ball off.
2nd down and a long 7. Well, it's almost 8 yards. Ball spotted at the 42. 18 seconds left, 1st quarter. Oh, it looked like Goffstown might have jumped. No flag called. And looks like he was able to get back onside. The ball's going to be spotted right about the 46, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down and long 3. And that is the end of a very fast-paced, fast-moving 1st quarter, MH. 7-0 Warriors at the end of 1.
Well, for the Warriors' perspective, they played a very clean quarter of football, Keith. I don't think they had any turnovers. So and they had to avoid those turnovers because they had 5 of them in the September 30th game.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. That's a really good call out. Like that was it was certainly one of those games where just Winnacunnet at times offensively, and Goffstown did force a lot of that. Like they're a very good defense, but much cleaner quarter today. Certainly. So far in the turnover battle, the one turnover in the game via interception was by Goffstown. And Winnacunnet went for it on a 4th and short in Goffstown territory and came up short. So as the team switch sides here for the 2nd quarter, this time looks like Winnacunnet will have a little bit of the wind. The wind is sort of almost flowing across the field here. It is really... I would say it's coming in from the near side on the left side of your screen, going out to the far corner of the end zone on the right side. So that's sort of the way the wind's blowing. And it is a little bit breezy here today. It is not I think the wind is a little bit of a factor today for sure.
And we'll see if the kicking game gets involved. We'll see that wind, I believe.
Yeah, I think so too. All right, 3rd down here. Obviously with a cold football, MH and such, obviously a factor as well. So 3rd down and 3 coming up. Split backs once again for Winnacunnet. This time Pat keeps it, and the Goffstown Grizzlies are all over Pat McDougal.
Yeah, that initial success that Winnacunnet had in the first drive, you can't get too overconfident because this defense isn't going anywhere, Keith.
No, so here we are, and we're going to see Winnacunnet have to kick the football here. And, Goffstown's defense here after the opening drive where Winnacunnet went right down and stiffened up a little bit. They are making adjustments and are looking a little bit tougher here defensively. So Again, that not much of a surprise either. We knew it would be very tough sledding against this Goffstown team today. So here's the kick by Gagnon. It's a good kick. It's a nice spiral. It drives Goffstown back to their own 16. And there's a penalty flag that comes in. 2 penalty flags, one from each side, and there was a penalty in the backfield. Looks like Tyler Hoare drew a penalty on number 3, Coleman Handerin, the senior, 5'9", 182, and that's going to cost Goffstown any chance of good field position. They're going to be starting deep in their own end, MH.
Yeah. And these are the things we talked about. You got to play when you get into championship games, you can't have turnovers and you can't have big penalties.
Right.
And if you go undefeated like Winnacunnet, Keith, there's going to be a point where you've got to get lucky. I mean, you could say that Winnacunnet got lucky last week in the overtime game. You could say they got lucky in the first game against this Goffstown club. But you've got to stay clean.
Yeah. Yeah, that illegal block in the back is going to send Goffstown inside of their own 20 when they're going to start this next possession. So, Winnacunnet all year has been forcing teams to go long drives, long downs and distances, and it wears on teams over time. And here, no different. Goffstown starting at their own 10, first and 10, with 11 minutes, 10 seconds left here, second quarter. First down, Keith out of the shotgun. And it's the give to, looks like Stinnett, maybe 33, for a game of a couple.
The three big weapons, once again, folks, for Goffstown. Keith, Stinnett, and Doval.
Yeah, exactly. And you're going to hear those names quite a bit. So second down and 7, ball spotted at the 13-yard line of Goffstown. And it looks like the quarterback kept the football, and he's got another, let's say, 3 yards. So the ball's going to be at the 16. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 4.
They tried to change it up a little bit. Last set of downs for Goffstown, they came out looking to throw, and right now they're just looking to run the ball.
Yeah, exactly. So here we go, 3rd and 4. Goffstown has 3 receivers here to the near side, single back in the shotgun. Keith looks to hand it off, and there's not much there once again. And Winnacunnet is going to get off the field once again on 3rd down, and it's going to bring up a 4th and almost 5, and Goffstown again is going to be forced to punt.
Yeah, and Goffstown has really had no opportunities on the offensive side. That defense for the Winnacunnet Warriors, specifically the defensive line, has really stepped up today.
All right, so Goffstown punting unit, and once again, this time only a single receiver back, which is Evan, and Granger this time decided to come near the line. It's a shorter kick, and Evan Fair catches the football at the Goffstown 38, where Winnacunnet will have excellent field position.
Yeah, that's a real opportunity for Winnacunnet offense now, Keith. You get field position like this against this defense. If you can get yourself into a scoring situation, you're really going to switch the momentum over to the Winnacunnet side. And the way the defense is playing, you may not have to score any more points.
All right, so first down and 10, 9 minutes, 30 seconds left here, second quarter. Ball spotted at the Goffstown 38. Pat McDougall this time is in shotgun. 2 receivers to the far side, Welsh and Hoare, flanked by his running backs on first down. Pat looks to throw, and he's under pressure, and that pass is tipped and almost intercepted. That was broken up by number 78, Evan Cuddy. So good play by him. We've announced his name a couple times today.
Excellent.
Yeah. He had that stop on 4th down that turned over the ball to Goffstown, and looked like Evan wanted to throw a swing pass out to his left over to Powers, and then he sort of tucked it, tried to look back to his right, and the pass was deflected. So it's going to be second down. 9 minutes, 25 seconds. Clock stopped on the incompletion. Shotgun look. Once again for Pat. Pat looks to run out of it. He's going to run it up there in the middle, and he does not have much. Maybe a gain of 1, so 3rd and 9 coming up.
Once again, that defensive line stepped up. And I've been watching Joe McDougall slide out, and I think he's going to have a lot of room and 8 yards down the field, Keith, for Pat at some point in this football game.
So that's Joshua Picard and Adam Moses as well on that defensive line, and for Goffstown as well. So it's a big group, and They're very athletic, and they've played very well all year. 3rd and 10. Pat McDougall looking to run out of the shotgun. He's running out of room. There's not a lot of room. Well defended, and Winnacunnet's going to be well short of a first down there.
They stretched that out beautifully. Pat didn't make the pitch until he was about 3 yards before the sideline, so well defended by Goffstown.
So the ball spotted at the 36. It's going to bring up a 4th down and almost 8. I think Winnacunnet probably needs to get to the 28. So, let's call it 4th and 8. 8 minutes, 45 seconds here. Clock stopped as the ball went out of bounds. Pat McDougall in shotgun. 2 receivers here near side, 2 far side. It looks like they're going to blitz on it, and they quick kick out of it. And Pat is going to send that well deep into the back of the end zone, where a touchback will allow the Grizzlies to take over 1st and 10 at the 20.
And a great job by the Goffstown defense. They had great, Winnacunnet offense had great field position and really couldn't move the ball at all, Keith. So that score of 7-0 may stick for a while.
Yeah.
Both these defenses have stepped up.
Yeah, they have, and with the exception of really the opening possession, both defenses, not a lot of surprise on our end, I think, MH. And if you guys like defensive football, watching both these clubs is a real treat. They do a great job. 1st and 10. This time Keith tucks it. He's looking to scramble, and he is going to keep his feet and somehow make positive yards out of nothing. Great job by the quarterback. Number 2, once again.
Charles Keith.
Yeah, Charles.
And Charles Keith did it all by himself there, folks. There was really good pressure up front by the defensive line for Winnacunnet. He's just a very athletic young man.
Yeah, that was a really nice play by Charles. So 2nd down and 1 coming up. Ball spotted at Grizzly zone 29. 8 minutes left to go here, 2nd quarter. This time they run, and they have some space on the edge. That's number 33, Stinnett, tackle by number 4, John Rooney, but enough for a Goffstown 1st down.
So this is really the first or the best start of a drive that we've seen for Goffstown. They're moving the ball relatively nicely against this Winnacunnet defense.
Yeah, I agree. And here we've got Keith and Stinnett in the backfield. Over here, number 22, Colby Putnam, near side receiver, and then trips over on the far side, including number 9, Duval, who's sort of is in the slot position. 2 other receivers over there. And Keith looks to run with it. He's well pursued, and he's going to be sacked. Great job. That was number 47, Cam Struckle, with a great pursuit and tackle for a loss.
Great play by Cam, and he's played a super season, Keith. He's been there every game, and this is just a little bit more of what we've seen all year.
Okay, here we go. So 2nd down. Maybe a loss of 4. We'll call it 2nd and 14. 7 minutes, 15 seconds left and counting, 2nd quarter. Okie doke. So Keith in shotgun, trips here near side. Keith decides to run the football, and he's able to gain maybe 4 or 5 yards to make it a manageable 3rd down. Tackle over there by Markland.
The thing about this Goffstown offense, as opposed to the Bedford team we saw last week, is that Bedford appeared to have a lot more options. We know, when looking at this Goffstown team, you've got these 3 primary options that they have on the offensive side.
Yep. Yeah, and we see over here number 22, once again, Colby Putnam. Number 20, we've called his name a couple times, Carter Chenard. This time, Keith looks to throw, and the pass is incomplete. Well defended by Evan on that far side again, and it's going to bring up a 4th and long, and it looks like Goffstown's probably going to have to punt again here, MH.
Yep. And we've seen in the past, Keith, a lot of these teams that Winnacunnet is faced, they throw away from Evan Welsh. And this time they're not afraid to go right after him.
Yep. So 4th and 9. Again, this time we've got Granger, and we have Evan deep. It's an okay kick. The ball is going to drop at the 40 and roll favorably for Goffstown down to about the 31-yard line, where Winnacunnet will take over with 5 or 6 minutes. I can't see. What do you think of it? 6:19 or 5:19?
I think it's 6:19, Keith,
Okay.
but And now I think you're going to see a lot of the same from Winnacunnet. They've got the lead, the 7-0. They're going to run the football.
Yeah.
And it's interesting, looking back at that September 30th game, Goffstown scored on their first drive. And then nothing happened till the fourth quarter. It's the exact reverse here today, where Winnacunnet scored on his first drive, and nothing's happened for the rest of the half.
So 1st and 10 coming up here for the Warriors. 2 receivers here near side, split backs, 1 receiver far side. And there's not much there, and Goffstown has definitely made the adjustments, MH, from the initial drive and looks very, very tough.
No question. They're back to the Goffstown defense that they've had the entire season.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you look at the Goffstown, statistically, this Goffstown defense probably the best defense in Division I. They've had a lot of games where they've held teams to single digits, just like the Winnacunnet defense, who played very well as well. But so certainly the best defense Winnacunnet's faced all year. 2nd and 12 for Pat McDougall under center. Pat looks to throw, and it's a dangerous pass, incomplete.
And I believe, Keith, that the refs might have missed one. I think there was a little bit of a penalty there.
Well, the pass was intended for Granger, and Granger was trying to get to a spot, and the pass fell incomplete. So,
and he was held up by the linebacker for the Goffstown team, and that's why the fans here on the Winnacunnet side had a little bit of a problem.
So 3rd and 12 coming up. So just like that, it's another long down and distance here for the Warriors. 3rd and long. Pat McDougall under center. They look to run blitz. Pat's going to roll out. He's looking. He tries to roll back, and he's in trouble. And he's going to go down, maybe a loss of 1, maybe a gain of 1, but he's going to go down at the 31, and Winnacunnet's got to punt the football.
And if you look downfield during that play, Keith, as McDougall was running around, there was nobody open downfield. So the defensive backs for this Goffstown team did a wonderful job.
So 4th down coming up here. Again, Kevin Gagnon back to punt. Standing at the 35 is Duval. The ball is going to bounce favorably for Winnacunnet, and it's going to be down all the way down to about the 26. So great kick for Kevin Gagnon. And
is a flag in the middle of the field, Keith?
I'm trying to see.
Right about the 45-yard line?
It looks like one. We'll see. It's referee and one of the linesmen are talking, so we'll. Looks like it's holding on Winnacunnet. So we'll see. They'll probably make him re-kick this thing.
I would think they would, because that was one heck of a kick by Gagnon.
Yeah, because you can see the sticks are static, right? So the original kick was going to result in about a net 45, 46-yard kick with no return, and that's going to be wiped off the board. And Winnacunnet's got a re-kick. With the ever-dangerous Duval standing back there to receive for Goffstown.
I didn't see the hold, Keith, but it's a strange part of the field to see a flag for a hold. It's right in the middle of the field.
You make you think it's like a lineman or something.
Yeah.
Generally don't see it. So after they march off the penalty, it's going to be spotted right about back at the Winnacunnet 20. So.
And we talked about it earlier. You've got to play a clean game, and penalties come. Yeah. This could change the field position quite a bit.
So Gagnon once again is out here to kick. Duval all by himself, and it's another good kick by Kevin. It hits at the 40, and it's going to be down at the 39-yard line. So a pretty good kick once again.
And about a 10-yard difference, you would say, Keith, as a result of the penalty. But once again, Kevin Gagnon has really been able to change position, field position for the Winnacunnet Warriors throughout the season. He's really been a nice find.
Yeah, it was about a 41-yard kick, no return. And, he's been probably their number one player in terms of positive field position for the Warriors.
And there's a nice article in the local paper here, Keith, about Kevin this week, and he's actually looking to kick in college.
Yeah, it's well-deserved, like a lot of times, as you know, in the football world, like sometimes kickers at times don't get all the press, the notoriety they deserve, but Kevin certainly is a special occasion this year. He's been excellent. So Keith decides to keep it on first down, and he's got 3 yards. Give him 2 yards. 2nd and 8, ball spot at the 41.
And I think that the Winnacunnet defense, and I want to jinx them at all. But their game plan of keeping the ball out of Dorval's hands has been very, very good. They've tracked him all over the field.
Yeah, so as we look to see where Duval is, he's over there on the far side. Second down. He's got the football now, and he is trying to get loose, and he makes a great play. And just as you called, MH, the athleticism of Duval, who's able to come in motion, there's a penalty flag that's sitting at the 36.
He's got some real speed, Keith, and he's got the ability to make the quick moves on top of that speed.
So we'll see what this penalty flag is. It's in the backfield, in essence, for Goffstown. And we will wait to see what the penalty is. And it looks like it's a face mask against Winnacunnet, so not a good penalty for the Warriors. And between the penalty on the kick and now this one, Goffstown's going to be set up here pretty good, MH.
Yeah, and we talked about it with this. We've talked about it 2 or 3 times already today. If you want to win a championship game, you've got to stay away from the penalties and stay away from the turnovers.
4 minutes, 10 seconds left here, second quarter. 7-0 Winnacunnet with Goffstown now driving. This is some of their deepest penetration in the ball game against Winnacunnet. And the ball spotted at the 44. Keith in shotgun on first down. They run to Duval, and he's got lots of running room, and he is fast, and he's all the way down to the 18-yard line. And as Nostradamus predicted, they get Duval and the football married up, and positive things happening for Goffstown.
Duval's nickname, folks, I guess at Goffstown is the mailman, and I don't know why, but I would assume because he delivers. But he really does have some nice speed, Keith.
He does. He's a very good football player. This time they run it up the middle, not much there on first down. So with 3 minutes and 36 seconds left here in the second quarter, Goffstown's trying to drive and trying to find an opportunity to tie this football game up. Duval standing right next to Keith in the shotgun second down. As they start going a little bit faster, the quarterback keeps it and not much there. Good penetration that time. Joe McDougall on the tackle.
So once again, Winnacunnet is keying on 2 players, it seems, mostly. They're keying on Charles Keefe and Ange Duval. And if they continue to do that, somebody else is going to be available at some point in this game.
Yeah, exactly. So 3rd and 9 here. Goffstown also tried to pick up the cadence a little bit. I think that was beneficial to them a little bit, MH. Try to play a little bit faster. And looks like we're waiting here. Probably be a timeout. Yeah. So Goffstown takes their first timeout of the first half, and it'll be a 3rd down and 9 on the clock with 2:50 left here.
As we sit here during the timeout, Keith, if you had to think back over this first half, you feel like Winnacunnet really has outplayed Goffstown. However, if Goffstown's able to go in and score now and tie this ball game up before halftime, Winnacunnet's got the wind taken out of their sails a little bit.
Yeah, no, I agree. We always look at these portions of the ball game, based on the opening kickoff, right? We'll see, Winnacunnet in the second half be able to take advantage, but. As you said, this Goffstown team, after that first drive, really cleaned up a lot of stuff defensively very quickly. And they look like the Goffstown team we saw the last time.
Right, and that's a championship caliber team. They get put on their heels immediately in a football game away from home, and they're able to respond immediately.
Yeah. And they have responded on both sides of the ball here. Certainly, second quarter here, Goffstown has played much, much better. This is an important 3rd down situation coming up for the Grizzlies. Again, you got Duval and Keith in the backfield. Far side receivers, number 81, Jared Heidenreich, and 3 receivers over here to the near side. 3rd and 9. This time the ball is on the ground, and Winnacunnet is all over it, and a bad turnover for Goffstown, their second of the first half. And the Winnacunnet Warriors are able to regain possession with 2:45 left here, second quarter.
And Charles Keith had a nice little gain going to the middle and just dropped the ball on the turf, and it was a great response. There were 3 or 4 Winnacunnet Warriors around the ball, Keith.
Yeah, I certainly saw Fennessy around the ball, and key turnover in that portion of the field is going to have the Goffstown drive come up empty. It was definitely their best drive of the first half. And Winnacunnet's going to take over 1st and 10 at their own 13. 2 minutes 45 seconds left, second quarter.
It's coming there. It's coming to you.
Welsh is over here on the near side, 2 receivers.
There it is. Fill it.
First down. Pat McDougal keeps it and gets about 2.
There's a flag thrown, and there's going to be a personal foul call against one of the Winnacunnet Warriors. Must have been a lot of chirping down there, and that flag came up after the play, and it's going to be a personal foul, almost guaranteed.
So we'll wait for the signal here, but certainly not a good circumstance if that is the case. Certainly where Winnacunnet is huddling, it would appear as though that is the case. So unsportsmanlike conduct on the Warriors, and that's going to be a half the distance to the goal on the personal foul.
And that's just plain ridiculous, Keith. Those kind of penalties are just ridiculous.
So we'll see where, I mean, if that came after the play, the down should count. It should be second down, which is what we see on the box.
Yeah.
So now it is a second down and 15 with 2 minutes and 27 seconds and the clock running, and they're inside their own 10, so they are not out of trouble yet. They have to be very careful with the football here. Pat looks to throw. He's got Evan over here. Evan makes a nice move. He's able to get to the 13, back to the original first down marker. It'll be a third down and 10.
And he got him a little room, which is the most important thing, Keith. And once again, unless they're successful on third down, they're going to rely on Kevin Gagnon to get him out of trouble.
Yeah, I agree.
There's plenty of time left in the clock for Goffstown.
So Goffstown smartly uses one of their timeouts. That's their second of the first half. And with 2:11 left, and a third down and long situation for Winnacunnet, they're trying to look to get the ball back once again and maybe score. So good job by Goffstown, who I think, where Winnacunnet dominated the first quarter, Goffstown's come back nice here in the second quarter, MH.
They really have, and other than that turnover, the fumble by Charles Keith, they'd be probably would have scored at least a field goal.
So as we talked about, MH, you're head coach here, third down and 10. What are you going to do here? You're going to be conservative. You're going to run the football, make them burn their final timeout. What would you do?
Winnacunnet strength is running the football, Keith, correct? So you're going to have to give it to, I would give it to Jordan straight up the middle.
Well, here they go 4 wide, and they've got a third down and 10 coming up out of the shotgun. Pat's going to look to throw. He's under trouble, and he is going to be dragged down for minimal gain. Not a sack, but not enough for a first down.
With the offensive, they try to bring the entire defense down the field and give Pat a little bit of room to make something happen. And that defensive line is just so good, there's just no room.
So with 2 minutes and 4 seconds left, Goffstown burns their final timeout of the first half, and they will be able to get the football back and try to go in for an equalizing score at halftime here. So really nice gameplay by Goffstown here in the second quarter.
And it'll be interesting to watch this, folks. We can set it up for a little bit. If it is a good kick, if the Dorval gets it, he can go a lot of places really fast.
Yes, he can. And he certainly was a bit of a difference maker on that last drive. As much as you'd like to key on certain players like that, there's a reason why they're players like that, which is that they make good plays, even at times being keyed on. So, and here he is standing right at his midfield stripe with Kevin Gagnon kicking right near his end line. So he is right at the goal line here, full protect. Here's the kick. It's a good kick by Gagnon. He's able to get that thing down.
Oh, and out
of bounds, down at the 47.
And kicked it away from Dorval, which was brilliant, and got it out of bounds. So for this Kevin Gagnon, he didn't play last year, Keith, and he was on the soccer team. He came out of nowhere, and it looks like he's going to go kick in college.
Probably can.
Yeah.
I would definitely think there's a lot of programs that would like him. And, effectively, he's able to put, 53 yards between the first down line for Goffstown and the end zone with 1:57 left to go. So you're going to see Goffstown go a little bit fast. Again, they're out of timeouts here, so they can only stop the clock with first downs and spiking the ball.
And they have the ability to move fast.
Yeah. So this time Keith keeps it, goes up the middle, gain of 2, right at midfield. So we'll give them 2 to 3 yards.
They're gonna,
second and a long 7 MH.
They're going to have to look to get Dorval open right now. They can stop the clock. He's their best athlete.
So Keith here throws on the run, and the pass is incomplete. The pass was intended for number 81, Jared Heinrich.
And well covered over there by Evan Walsh, Keith.
So 3rd down and 7 coming up, 1 minute and 32 seconds. Clock stopped on the incompletion. And, Goffstown again, with a 3rd down here. And, we've got number 22 over here on the near side, Colby Putnam. Got Stinnett in the backfield. Duval there in the flanker position on 3rd down. Keith rolling, looking to get gain, and is stopped for minimal gain, a gain of a yard. And Andrew Mills on the tackle.
And that defensive backfield, Keith, I was watching that play develop and looking downfield, and that defensive backfield had Goffstown covered completely.
So 4th down here coming up, and looks like Goffstown's going to punt this football away with 1 minute remaining. So. Winnacunnet, I think, less than a minute here isn't necessarily much of a rush either.
Some of the fans wanted them to call a timeout to stop and get some more opportunity for the offense, but it really didn't make any sense.
I don't think so. So a decent kick. It's going to be down at about the 18-yard line with 37 seconds left. So just like that, we've had a battle sort of in the middle of the field here for much of the second quarter. And, with 36 seconds left and not very good field position for Winnacunnet and Goffstown with no timeouts, my guess is Winnacunnet will probably be pretty conservative.
Yeah, I would guess you'll see a little bit of Jordan Fuller straight up the middle and let this thing get out and go to halftime with a 7-0 lead.
Which I think they will gladly take, MH.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, so 1st and 10 coming up here. Again, ball's at the 19 of Winnacunnet, 1st and 10. Evan Walsh is the only receiver out here, and they look to be taking a knee, it looks like. There it is.
Yeah, and they do.
All right, so I don't know if they need to run another play or not. I don't think they'll run another play. I think that's it.
So that'll be the half. And a 7-0 game. Well, what happens? The first set of downs, Winnacunnet goes down the field and scores. And we said, maybe we're wrong. Maybe this won't be a defensive game. And it turns into a defensive game.
Yeah, and a very good defensive game. And, once again, Winnacunnet with a 7-0 lead here. As both teams head to halftime, the coaching staff's up here in the press box, head out to halftime, and we as well are going to head out to halftime. So we will see you guys after the half.
Same thing as last game. But keep in mind, the team that trailed by after one touchdown.
And we're back. MH, your impressions on this first half with the Warriors having a 7-0 lead?
Well, we talked about it a little bit in the first half. Winnacunnet came down, first set of downs, scores a touchdown. And I was second guessing myself and said maybe this is going to be different than the regular season game in September, but they've gone right back to a defensive game, and it makes me a little nervous. I think if you didn't have a scoreboard, you would have said that Winnacunnet really outplayed Goffstown for the first half. They look at the scoreboard, and it's only 7-0.
Yeah, and to accent that a little bit, MH, Goffstown played a really good second quarter, and absent of a turnover deep in Winnacunnet's territory, Winnacunnet did win the turnover battle, right? They were able to run the football pretty effectively, but that Goffstown defense really tightened up after the first possession and looked, as we've seen them ourselves, as advertised.
Right, and we expected all that. So now it's going to be a defensive battle, and if Winnacunnet can score another 7 or 3 points even, I think we'll be in good shape.
Absolutely. So here's the kick. It's a short kick, and it's going to be received by Granger, who's up here, and he's able to get to the 30, and he's able to get all the way to the 42, and he's out of bounds. First down and good field position right away for the Warriors.
Yeah, it was kind of a poor kickoff, Keith, but hey, listen, you want to start the second half with some momentum. They've got good field position to do so. And let's see what Pat McDougal can do. He touches the ball every single time, like I said in the first half. Let's see if Pat can get something going.
Okay, so here we go. First down and 10. Ball spotted at the 41. Pat McDougal in shotgun on first down. Pat looks to throw. He's got a receiver open. It's Evan over here on the near side. Gain of 5.
And to recap in the first half, Winnacunnet was able to move the ball on the ground, not at will, but much better than they did the first game against Goffstown. Fuller could go right up the middle. Billy Powers had a couple nice runs, as did Pat McDougal. Before this Goffstown team really started to show up.
So second down and a short 5 coming here for Winnacunnet. Again, you have Evan here on the near side, Tyler on the far side. Second down. This time they run a little counter, and it's Fuller. He gets the 49, and it's right at the sticks.
It looks exactly like the way they started the game, Keith. They went right to Fuller up the middle, and are going to control this on the ground, I think.
So first down here for Winnacunnet, and they are at the 49-yard line of Goffstown. 11 minutes, 6 seconds left here, third quarter. 7-0 Winnacunnet with a 1-touchdown lead. Pat McDougal under center. First and 10. Traditional veer look again for Winnacunnet. This time the give is to Fuller, and he's got a nice gain on first down. Gain of 5.
And once again, I'm going to talk about Pat McDougal. He's making these choices of whether to hand the ball off or keep it himself at his discretion. And the first half of this football game, he was perfect doing that.
Yep. So Pat coming back here to the huddle from the sideline. Second and 5 coming up, all spotted at the Goffstown 44.
I still think, Keith, at some point in this football game, you're going to see Joe McDougal catch a couple footballs.
Yep. Okay, so Pat here on second down. It's a give to Powers for a gain of 1. Third and 4 coming up.
And they really have. They're going to be going for this football for the first down, Keith. So they're going to have 2 downs to make these yards if they need them.
Yeah, that's certainly one of the benefits if you're able to get 5-6 yards on first down is that you can really continue to pound it. So ball spotted at the 43 will bring up a third down. Let's call it 4 yards. They got to get to about the 39 for a first down for Goffstown. This time Pat McDougal comes in under center once again. A little quick play, and it's a good gainer for a first down. Once again, Fuller. Nice game.
And Dorval came up from the safety position to make that tackle. We haven't really talked about him on defense that much, but he runs that defense from that safety position as well.
He does, and as we saw in the first matchup, he's a big hitter too, MH.
Yeah, he really is.
He definitely he's a player that you got to watch out for in the field. So ball spotted at the 36. First down and 10. Winnacunnet with a good opening drive of the third quarter. Fuller and Powers once again behind Pat McDougal on first down. It's a little quick give to Billy Powers, who spins and picks up 5. Good first opening run on first down for Billy Powers inside running.
And going back to Andrew Dorval, he showed us a little bit in the first half. He didn't really touch the ball in the September 30th game, but in the first half of this game, that we saw why they talk about him so much. He is really fast and he's really quick.
Yeah. So ball spotted at the Goffstown 32. Fairly deep penetration here now for Winnacunnet. Evans over there on the far side. Tyler Hoare here on the near side. Second down. This time Pat gives and
I think the ball's on the ground.
There.
Nope. I thought the ball went on the ground, but I guess it didn't.
I don't think so. It was sort of a weird play, MH. It was almost like the handoff was late to not a well-executed play by Winnacunnet. Fuller was able to dive forward, but probably lost a yard or two, and it's going to bring up a third and long, 3rd and 8. Ball spotted at the Goffstown 34. So we'll see what they do here, MH, and they're going to go back to a similar look. Pat's going to be under center on 3rd down. Tyler Hoare here on the near side receiving. Pat McDougal rolls to his right. He looks to throw down the field, and he's got Evan, who had a slight crack, but it was incomplete, MH. It's going to bring up 4th down.
Yeah, he led him a little bit too far out to the far side of the field. And now I think that they've got a choice to make. What are they going to do here, Keith? You're kind of high school football in no man's land.
Yeah, exactly. And looks like right now you got Josh Chase coming on, and you've got Granger coming on. You've got Fuller and McDougal coming out. So they're going with a little bit of a speedier look on 4th down here and 7. Flanked by Powers, 4-receiver look. Pat in the shotgun on 4th down. They quick kick again, and it's a good kick. He gets it right around the 10-yard line. So well executed by Winnacunnet.
Yeah, the first time they quick kicked in the first half, it really nothing really happened. He kicked it into the end zone, but that was well done by Pat.
Yeah, and that's sort of what they want to do. This definitely feels like a field position game, MH. There's no doubt about it.
Sure.
Ball's going to be at the 12, and it's going to be a long field for Goffstown, down 7-0. 7 minutes, 41 seconds left here, 3rd quarter.
And I think you got an update in that Pinkerton game, didn't you? The other somebody found the Salem Pinkerton game?
Yeah, we did. So at halftime, a bit of a shock, but Pinkerton is up 31-13 at halftime. And, Salem, the undefeated team, and you had mentioned earlier, they had us sort of a key suspension of a key playmaker for Salem, and Pinkerton's taken full advantage.
Yeah,
so Keith of the ball carrier there on 1st down for Goffstown, and it's a loss of 2 yards.
Another big play by Joe McDougal.
Yeah, he's been so active, MH, you're right.
He's been such a – if there is a surprise for me, it's Joe McDougal on defense this year. He really has stepped up.
Because Cam Struckel's so fast on one end, and Joe's got really good size and speed on the other end. You got Fennessy and Mills, who are somewhat immovable objects, and it makes it very difficult offensively for teams to move the ball on them. So good play on 2nd down. It was Duval and not much there. Another nice tackle by Andrew Mills, who gets up at the bottom of the pile. Shows some good sportsmanship, helping Duval up to his feet. 3rd and 8 coming up for Goffstown. What a defensive battle today.
It sure has been. I think everybody's looking at number 9 right now to see what he's going to do and who's got him.
So he's in that flanker spot on the left side. It looks like they try to run blitz. Carter Havey gets out of it. 3rd down and 8. Keith now decides to change the play at the line of scrimmage. 2 receivers near side, 2 receivers far side. 3rd down. He looks up top, and it is intercepted once again. Unbelievable. That is number 19, Kazmarczyk Ryan, with a great pick and another turnover for Goffstown.
Yeah, he was in perfect position. I don't know why that ball was thrown by Charles Keith, because he was double covered inside and out, and then Kazmarczyk was in the inside. It was a relatively easy interception.
So that's going to set up good field position here for Winnacunnet at the 45 at Goffstown, 1st and 10. So with 6 minutes and 17 seconds left here, 3rd quarter, once again, Winnacunnet's in good field position and in business here. This time on 1st down, they pitch it out to Billy on the wing, and he gets over Brad Duvall, and he's down the sideline. He's to the 20, and he gets inside the 15, and we've got penalty flags up the field, so let's hold on.
Yeah, let's wait. But it was interesting. You have probably the best defensive player over there in Dorval, and one of the top offensive players in high school football, Billy Powers, went around him. I don't like the location of that flag.
Yeah, that location of that flag generally means holding, and that's what it was. So wipe out the run. They were able to get around the outside of Duval. Perhaps they held him right there, actually.
That's probably what happened.
So that's going to bring up a 1st down and long now here. Ball's going to be spotted at the Winnacunnet 47. So in essence, it's going to be a 1st down and 18 for the Warriors.
Penalties and turnovers, Keith. Penalties and turnovers.
So far here, Winnacunnet winning the turnover battle, but not necessarily the penalty battle. 1st and 18. Pat had a hard time holding on to the football. It was sort of he was able to give sort of a quick hitter up the middle, and nothing doing against this Goffstown stout defensive line, number 75 this time, Joshua Picard, with a tackle for Goffstown. So 2nd down here coming up in 17. So Granger checks in for Powers here, 2nd and 17. Got Evan coming here to the near side, Tyler Hoare far side. Split backs. Second and long for Pat under center. Pat McDougall drops straight back. He looks up the field. He's got Granger up the seam. First down, Warriors. Great pass by Pat to Granger. Ball spotted at the 26.
Going back to Pat McDougall, Keith, we've seen a lot of the high school quarterbacks so far since the end of the season. There's no question in my mind he's the best passing quarterback in New Hampshire football.
Yeah, well, that certainly was a strike, and they needed it. And they tried to find Granger on that route earlier in the game. People thought he got held. This time he was able to find some daylight, and a big gainer, just what Winnacunnet needed to try to loosen up this Goffstown defensive front, who's been very good today. 1st and 10 at the 26. Boy, they want to check out of it. Right now, Goffstown really looks to...
Too much time. The flag is down for the back judge.
Yeah, delay a game. You have to be... Yeah, there's... I would say it's called a delay a game. So Pat tried to check at the line of scrimmage. They run blitz. Pat looked to check out of it, and a delay a game was called. But
right, they didn't have the time to check out of it. Simple as that. And you called it. I mean, Pat didn't like what he saw.
Right. We do have some coaches upstairs mentioning about the way the play was clocked in or what have you. But as it stands, it's a penalty, and it's a 1st and 15 now. So Winnacunnet in the hole again with penalties. This time they try to run something tight, and Pat McDougall keeps it, and he's in trouble, and he's going to take a big loss. And a penalty flag, a needless one for Goffstown, MH.
Pat was already on the ground, and he was piled on by a defensive player. Once again, we're seeing some stupid decisions by 2 championship-level clubs.
Yeah, it's a tough penalty to take, and that's going to wind up being a big one here because, Winnacunnet was most certainly in dire straits here on this possession, and Goffstown really bailed them out here. Really not a good play.
No. And those are the things that drive coaches crazy, Keith. I mean, we've got 2 very evenly matched clubs, and you make stupid decisions like that, that could cost you the ball game.
So the personal foul is going to result in a 15-yard penalty. It is going to be, it should be 2nd down here and about 5 yards, all said and done. So instead of it being 3rd and 20, it's going to be 2nd and 5. They run blitz again, and they try to counter, and they're getting a lot of penetration, which makes that play even a little bit more dangerous. And it's going to be 3rd down and 6, probably a loss of 1.
And we're not, I don't believe I know we're not in field goal range for Kevin Gagnon, but you're in that area once again where I would expect that Winnacunnet's going to go for two plays for a 1st down.
Yeah, where the ball spotted right here, the field goal would be about a 37-yarder into the wind on a cold day. So,
yeah.
We know Kevin's got a good leg, but it not clear if they would risk it. But on 3rd down and 5 here, certainly and definitely in 4-down territory if they decide to go for it, if they don't make the 1st down. So this time they pitch out to Granger. Granger tries to get the edge. He slides a tackle. Not going to get a 1st down, but it's inside the 20, and it'll bring up a 4th and short. So decision time here for Winnacunnet, MH.
Yeah, it is. And Dorval came up from a safety position once again and slowed down Granger. He can really get to the ball, Keith. Yeah. And so I think they're going to go for it. I don't see a field goal coming here.
I don't either. Plus that ball's way over on the far hash there too, so it's not like it's sitting dead in the middle of the field. So there's a whistle over here, and it looks like Winnacunnet is going to take their 1st timeout of the 2nd half.
I think that the Winnacunnet coaching staff, and they might be right about this, Keith, is saying if we can score some points on this drive, that might be the ball game the way our defense is playing. They put a lot of pressure on their defense all year long, and I think they're comfortable enough to do that.
Yeah, I do too. And with 3 minutes and 23 seconds left here, it's been a pretty speedy ball game. Unlike Bedford last week, where it was, Bedford basically was throwing the ball on every down, and that was a tremendously entertaining game, but a long game. This one's with the ball control offenses and the defense is playing well. This one's just going really fast.
Right. It was really entertaining last week, and Bedford, don't forget, Keith, Bedford came in with a backup quarterback. and they really looked great. That coaching staff created great schemes against this Winnacunnet defense.
They did, and to be honest with you, MH, like looking back at that Bedford backup quarterback looked better than the starting quarterback did in that first
I said the
week.
exact same thing to people I was talking to.
Yeah, he looked good. So, anyway, 4th down and short here coming up. Goffstown is loading up the box with defenders. This time they run it, and Pat looks to throw. He's got a receiver. It's Joe McDougall. Great play call. 1st down. Warriors. Ball spotted at the 12-yard line. Great play by Coach Offon.
Yeah, and I think that was as predictable as it gets. I was about to say, look out for Joe McDougall. As I mentioned this a little while ago, that middle was wide open for 8 yards.
Yeah, well, certainly, Goffstown was loading up to stop the run there and allowed Joe just able to sort of sneak out into an empty spot of the field and sit down for a 1st down.
This has now turned into a very important drive for Winnacunnet.
So ball's at the 13. Pat McDougall runs straight up the middle. Good recognition. They decide to run a sneak as maybe the defensive line for Goffstown was a little bit offset, and they found a quick hole.
Yep. And once again, Pat has the ability to recognize these things. That's why when you have a seasoned senior quarterback like Pat McDougall, who's been on the field for 3 years now, you can really put a lot of responsibility in his hands.
So 2 minutes, 28 seconds left here, 3rd quarter. Clock still running, 7-0. Winnacunnet with the lead and the ball deep in Goffstown territory, trying to get more points on the board here. Fuller powers behind Pat. 2nd down.
Pat right up the middle again.
He's got the ball at the 5, and it's going to be just a yard short of a 1st down. So 3rd down and 1 coming up for this Winnacunnet team. And as you said very well, MH, very crucial drive here.
And I think both of these teams are really going to benefit from whoever wins this ball game is going to benefit from the Pinkerton win over Salem, because I think a full-strength Salem team would be better than a Pinkerton team.
But both teams still very challenging.
No question about it.
Pinkerton perennially has been very, very good. Former state champions here recently as well, so that's a darn good program. Here we are once again. It's Fuller, and
he's short, Keith.
It's right at it. They're chopping the clock here. I think they're going to probably measure. It might be short. It's hard. We have a really bad angle here to see this, so this is.
I think he's short, Keith.
Yeah, could be.
Now it becomes interesting, okay? With your strong defense, let's assume that they do not get it. What do you do now?
Kick the field goal.
You kick the field goal.
I do.
But at 14-0, you get a lot of pressure on your defense. It's short, so you could try to get the 1st down, and if you don't score, you leave them a long field to go and put the pressure on your defense.
Well, it looks like Winnacunnet is going to go big because Big James Fennessy has just checked into the ball game here.
And we've seen that a few times, Keith, over the season. Yeah. In fact, they did it against this Goffstown team to score in the first game, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's correct. They went to this formation. So we've got Fennessy, Markland in the backfield, Fuller as the deep tailback in their big set, and everybody else pretty much up on the line of scrimmage. 4th down and inches. 1 minute, 22 seconds left here, 3rd quarter. Clock starts. Fuller whispers something to Pat McDougall, under center.
And they give
it to Fennessy, who's into the end zone. Touchdown, Warriors. James Fennessy punches it in. 13-0, pending the extra point.
And there you have your 300-pound running back, Keith. I remember a Chicago Bears team did that in the old days with refrigerator pairing.
Yeah, and that time, you know what? They were expecting probably Fuller with a lot of lead blocking and stuff, and they gave a little quick hitter to Fennessy. They had to execute it, and they did successfully. And Winnacunnet has a little bit of breathing room, 13-0, 1:11 left here, pending the extra point. And the kick is up, and it is good. And just like that, Winnacunnet has a 2-touchdown lead at home late in the 3rd quarter.
That was a very, very important drive for both clubs. Winnacunnet needed to come down, they needed to score, and they needed to take the momentum back after that first half. So, what happens now? You rely on your defense. And they've bent a few times this year, but they haven't broken.
Yeah, And, Goffstown now down 2 touchdowns. They themselves many times play downhill on other opponents here are going to have to come back and maybe do some different things offensively to try to help move the football a little bit, because the reality is that you can sort of play that way in a tie game, or now you're down 2 scores with 13 minutes left to go in the ball game. And their season on the line.
Right, and you've got to get the ball to your star. And you've got to find new ways of getting the ball to your star. Yep. Andrew Dorval has to touch the football.
Yep. So Kevin Gagnon here to kick off. It's a good kick. It's going to drive down to the 5. And they run this little misdirection thing once again. And this time, Duval gets the football and advances it to the 23, where they will take over 1st and 10. Goffstown down 2 scores.
And that's a great deceptive kickoff move. I like that play. It's very difficult for the players on the field to actually find out who's got the football.
Yes, yeah, and that's, like I said, we see that time to time in high school football, where they'll have the receiving player turn their back and try to run basically have 2 or 3 players cross behind. That being said, MH, 1st down and 10, and we'll see what Goffstown does here. And they're probably going to be challenged to start forcing the issue against this Winnacunnet defense. Duval over there, the far side. They go 4 receivers on 1st down. Keith looks up for him, and he's open, and he's got it all the way down to the 30, the 20, the 10, and he is gone. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. 77 yards, and just as you called, MH, Goffstown gets a game-saving touchdown to make it 14-6.
And it's amazing that this kid is really fast. Welch was out there with him, but he simply didn't have foot speed. I mean, Dorval went right past him, and that's why everybody says he's one, if not the best player in the state. Boy, he really showed some speed.
He did, and that pass was right on the money. It was a perfectly thrown ball. It was very well executed by Goffstown, and just like that, they get right back into the ball game. Great play by the Grizzlies.
New ball game, folks. A new ball game. All of a sudden, this extra point becomes very important.
It does. So the snap's down, the kick's up, and it is no good. Kick was left, and it's 14-6.
I think that might have been tipped, Keith, but that was a very important extra point.
I was going to say the same thing. It looked like the ball might have got tipped at the line of scrimmage. It looked like a little bit of a screwball after the thing got by the line, and 14-6 MH, 55 seconds. So Goffstown did switch stuff up, and they went to their probably their 2 most talented players, the quarterback and it was really a perfect pass. He threw a great ball.
Yeah, he really did. But I think now Winnacunnet, if they had maintained that 14-0 lead, they would have taken their foot off the gas a little bit. They wouldn't have to throw the ball, take the time off the clock with that running game of theirs. It's a new ball game now. They've got to keep the foot on the pedal.
They do. So 55 seconds left here. Again, this is why this is a Division I semifinal. There are no gimmies at all
that's right.
This time of year.
And you've got to, if Winnacunnet goes back on the defensive end, they're going to have to double Dorval wherever he goes.
Yeah, I agree. All right, here's the kick. It's a good kick. And it is going to be dropped, but then picked up by Powers at his 15, and Powers is able to get the edge. And it's pretty good coverage by Goffstown. So he's able to get about maybe 10 yards on the return to the 24. 1st and 10 coming up for Winnacunnet.
Yeah, he turned a little disaster into an even play, because he dropped the ball on the reception, picked it up, and was able to just get back where he was. So good play by Billy. Good makeup play, I should say.
There you go. So 1st and 10 coming up here for Winnacunnet, and with 46 seconds left here in the 3rd quarter, this is certainly one of those games where, as we suspected, this is going to come down to the 4th quarter, and very close competitive ball game between 2 excellent teams. 1st and 10, Pat McDougall, under center. He looks to throw a swing pass, and that's a fumble. Oh, a dangerous play.
Very dangerous play in a dangerous part of the field at a dangerous time of the game.
That is a huge loss. That's going to be spotted at the 10. That's a 13-yard loss, and a very, very interesting play in how that was executed. Makes it 2nd and 23. Wow.
Yeah, I got to question that call, Keith. I mean, I don't know what they're doing. They've had good success running the ball with Fuller and with Billy Powers straight up the gut, and then you try something like that, that's really dangerous.
Because they've been running that a lot, but running it as a swing pass, as a forward pass. That was clearly a backwards pass, and was a bullet, too.
Yeah.
Just not well executed. So now what do we have going on here? We've got the end of the third quarter.
Okay.
So time just expired. At the end of 3, Winnacunnet 14, Goffstown 6, and almost a heart attack at the end of the third quarter. My goodness.
Well, again, I said this at the end of the first half. If you didn't have a scoreboard here, Keith, and you're watching this, you would say that Winnacunnet has dominated this football game. And you look up at the scoreboard, it's 14-6. And they scare you. These scores scare you because you can dominate a football game and lose at the end.
And, you talked about it, penalties and turnovers and such. And the reality is that, that play was very dangerous. That easily could have been a disaster to tie a football game. As it is, with an 8-point lead, they can play defense. They can run the football. They can make safe throws, but, safe throws sometimes include, trying to get your players in space, but not necessarily bullet backwards passes.
Right. Now they're going to start the fourth quarter with a 2nd and 22 situation, which does limit you as to what you can call. So Winnacunnet needs to just get the ball out a little bit, get some room for Gagnon, and not worry about doing anything too explosive at this point.
So 4 wide receivers with Granger in motion, and he gets the football. He comes around the edge. He's able to get through, and then a nice cleanup tackle by who else? And number 9, Duval.
He just has a nose for the football, and his ability to close from the safety position is really impressive.
Yeah,
he's going somewhere, Keith.
It's one of those players where he's a fun guy to watch in person, right? I don't know on camera if you can always see him, but you can see him. His closing speed defensively is excellent. 3rd down and 15 coming up, and Winnacunnet's in trouble on this drive. And they didn't do themselves any favors on that opening play of this drive. And now, with 11 minutes and 20 seconds here left in the fourth quarter, they are in a 3rd down and 15 in shotgun. Pat McDougall looks to roll. He rolls out. They have Billy Powers in space, but he's not going to get the first down, and he's several yards short. He'll bring up a 4th and 8, and Winnacunnet's got to punt the football, MH.
But they've got enough room now for Gagnon to work a little bit. And once again, we'll talk about it. Kevin Gagnon has taken this team in switch field position all year long.
He has. You got Duval standing back here at about the 47-yard line for Goffstown. Gagnon is standing at his 10.
And he's going to try to kick it away from, I would assume. Don't let this Dorval kid get the football.
Here's the kick, and it's a good kick. Once again.
Oh, and the good coverage, too.
Oh, Duval fumbles the football!
And
Goffstown is able to jump on it, but my goodness, that was a dangerous play.
That sure was, and it was a great coverage by Tyler Hoare. Tyler Hoare went down, and just as it hit Dorval's hands, he put a nice hit on him, and the ball was on the ground.
Wow. All right, so dangerous play for Goffstown, but they are able to secure the football nonetheless and have an opportunity here to try to, with a touchdown and 2-point conversion, try to tie the football game. Again, they trail 14-6, 10 minutes, 28 seconds left, fourth quarter.
And if you can watch this on your TV sets, folks, watch number 9. They're going to try to find something to make him available.
So Keith here coming out. We have Trips here on the right side, 1 receiver on the left side, single back Stinnett with Keith at quarterback, first down. This time they run out of it to Stinnett, and there's nothing there. No gain, 2nd down. Great defense by Winnacunnet.
And they've done a nice job on Stinnett all game, the defense.
Yep. So we're right about 10 minutes and 10 seconds left here. 2nd down and 9, ball spotted at the Goffstown 39. Similar look here, Trips right. They're trying to get plays in from the sideline. We're inside of 10 minutes now, fourth quarter. So Keith calls it off for his lineman. Trips right, 2nd and 9. This time Keith keeps the football, and he's going to get held up by Stuckel and tackled for a gain of 1, 3rd and long coming up for Goffstown.
A lot of pressure on that defensive line of Winnacunnet because they can't rely on their linebackers. They've got to stop before he gets to that second level.
So ball spotted at the 41. It's going to be about a 3rd and 7. They have to make the 48 for a first down. We're 9 minutes and 13 seconds and counting. Again, they're not really running out of a huddle. They're calling out of the sideline, getting in a formation. Here we've got trips over to the right. 3rd and 7.
Oh, what a James Fennessy was actually on the ground, stretched out, and had the strength to take him down from his knees. He's one strong kid.
He sure is, and that's going to bring up a 4th down, and Goffstown's going to be forced to punt. It's about a 4th down and 15. So just like that, MH, the defense once again for Winnacunnet steps up. Here's Gibson to kick it. It's an okay kick.
Run away.
And they run away. There's something about the magnetism of people trying to run towards kick footballs like this. It always drives me nuts.
It scares the heck out of me. The most relieved person on the field on that big play by James Fennessy was Rooney, because Rooney had single coverage over there with Andrew Duvall. And when he saw that not go down, he must have been taking a big sigh of relief.
So ball spotted at the 27 of Winnacunnet. 8 minutes, 20 seconds left here, 4th quarter. Winnacunnet has a 14-6 lead and the football. And a sustained drive here for Winnacunnet would be just what the doctor ordered, MH.
Yep, take some clock off, get a couple first downs, and move the ball.
So they go this big formation again with Fennessy and it looks like that was Fuller on first down. I was going to say Fennessy and Markland lead blockers for Fuller, and that's a gain of 3.
First downs, and run the football, Keith. The clock is now your best friend.
It is. Goffstown does have all 3 timeouts. I believe Winnacunnet burned one in the 3rd quarter.
They did.
So they have 2. 2nd down and 7. Ball spotted at the 30. They go big again. This time Powers is the tailback with Markland and Fennessy as the fullbacks. This time they look to throw out of it. There's not much open there. And he decides to throw it away somewhat intelligently.
Yeah, that was a good decision by. That's where a few times this year, the bad decisions Pat's made is that he has such confidence in the strength of his arm that he tries to get it in there when he shouldn't.
Right. So 3rd and 7 coming up here, and clock stop on the incompletion, 7 minutes, 37 seconds, and Winnacunnet is trying to, at least at this point, sustain drives, right? So key 3rd down pickups here, late in ball games, would be just what Pat McDougall wants. In this case, they're going to go big on 3rd down. They pitch. Oh, no, it's a fumble! And Billy Powers. Unbelievable. So a couple of miscues here late in this Division I semifinal game that are putting things on edge here a little bit, MH.
Yeah, and it's really cold out there, Keith. So, I mean, they put the ball on the ground. Both teams have a few times because it is cold, and those hands get a little cold too. So, once again, you're going to rely on Kevin Gagnon to get you out of trouble and kick the ball away from Andrew Duvall.
So Duvall standing at his 45. The ball here, it's a 4th and 12. The ball's at the 25-yard line. And speaking of cold hands, MH, I'd say you and I are in that ballpark too.
That's right. What a good kick.
It's got Duvall all the way back. He can't pick up the ball. Now he receives it at the 28, and he's up the sideline. He makes a good spin move, and he's down after a gain of 10. So pretty good athletic play by Duvall, but a great kick by Kevin.
A great kick by Kevin, but every time this kid touches the football, talking about Kevin, every time he touches a football, you're afraid. You're afraid.
Yep. All right, so 6 minutes, 42 seconds left here. And ball is at the 39. And there's a bit of a discussion here. I don't know, MH, you didn't see a flag on the field, did you?
I do. Right on the W as it faces us.
There it is. Okay, yeah, so there's a hold there. That's what I figured. So it's going to be a 10-yard penalty.
Yeah.
And we'll should drive them back to the 29-yard line. we'll see what the.
They seem to be having a chat with. Who's that? Angel Mills they're having a chat with. 64.
I think so. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. They could be chatting about just about anything.
Yeah.
MH.
Yep. I just hope that it's a nice chat.
So they're going to spot the ball at the 29 as predicted, and that will allow Goffstown to take over 1st and 10. And we are getting short on time in this ball game. 6:42 left in the ball game. Warriors with a 14-6 lead. Again, Goffstown has all 3 timeouts. Winnacunnet with 2 timeouts remaining. And the one score for Goffstown was the one big play right on 1st down. They just went up top, sort of a streak route by Duval, and he outran the defense of Winnacunnet, and the pass was perfect.
And that's why they've got to watch him all the time. Now they're going deep on the other side.
Oh, incomplete.
That was a well-thrown ball too, Keith. It was well covered, but he did have a step.
Yeah, he sure did.
You know, that's a nice move. That play was a nice call by Goffstown, because I think everybody's thinking the way I think, which is just make sure Andrew Duval doesn't beat me. Right. And they went with an alternative, and it almost worked.
2nd down and 10. This time Keith rolls to his right. He looks to throw. He's got nothing there. He tries to come back. He's going to run all the way across the field. This time Duval is going to get sacked deep in his backfield. Number 34 for Winnacunnet, Devin Miller, and a penalty.
And the way he was running around there, Keith, you got to believe that's got to be an offensive hold.
I thought Joe McDougal got held, to be honest with you, out here on the wing, but we'll have to see. The ball came clearly back Joe's way, but
he ran across. Keith ran across the field to the far side of the field, turned around, and came all the way back. And in fact, it was a holding penalty.
All right. So, with such a big loss, MH, you just decline it. 2nd down, decline it to be 3rd and 17. Or do you keep going backwards?
I think you just keep pushing them backwards. I mean, at a regular football team, I would, but with that Dorval kid, you're just giving him another chance to touch the football.
Yeah, I hear you. So they're going to march it off, as you had indicated, and that's going to put the ball back at the 14-yard line. So this is, get out your calculator, 2nd and 25.
And you got to concentrate and don't let number 9 beat you.
So, large down and distance, they snap the football for some reason, and they're in trouble. And it's at the 1. You can see the side judge come in. He's almost in the end zone. What a bizarre play.
Yeah, he wasn't ready for the football. Keith wasn't ready for the football, and the snap was low. It was bizarre. It was bizarre. And now they've pushed him back far enough. You don't have, if you're Goffstown, you don't have a lot of ability now to do much, because you can't go for the big hitter. You've got to be conservative. You can't give up the safety.
No, especially in a 14-6 ball game. It's still one possession day.
Here they come.
Keith looks in the middle, and it's dropped, and it's incomplete. So they're going to have to kick out of their own end zone with 5:40 left here in a 14-6 deficit. So it's 4th down and 38.
And that was clearly a mistake. And we talked about this all games. Penalties and mistakes of any kind, they'll hurt you.
Yep. So that was definitely a strange possession. It was really hard to tell what's going on. It looks like the quarterback was not ready for the snap to occur, and the snap was also low.
Right, and he wasn't even looking for the football.
So here's the kick. It's actually a decent kick.
Run away from the it hit the helmet of
He's got to try to recover that thing, yeah. But it hit him, unfortunately, at the 28-yard line. So that was not a fortunate break either for Goffstown. It hit one of their coverage players right in the helmet.
Right in the helmet, and bounced. And so now you Winnacunnet. You've got an 8-point lead. It's 5:28. You've got to use the clock, but you can't. You've got to get first downs as well.
Yeah, I think what's important here, MH, obviously ball possession is extremely important here, but no turnovers down here at this point.
No turnovers, and come away with some points.
Yes. Right now, it still is a one-possession game at 14-6. Any points here would make it a 2-score game. 1st and 10, Winnacunnet. This time, Pat McDougal keeps it. He's able to get to the outside, and he has a first down all the way down to the 16-yard line.
And once again, I talk about this. Pat pulled it back from Billy Powers, kept it himself, and got to the edge.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's absolutely right, MH. And we're 5 minutes and 15 seconds here, fourth quarter. 14-6 Winnacunnet, and they are deep in Goffstown territory.
And I think, Keith, you're within Gagden's field goal range now. I mean, I think you're within it. He really hasn't kicked a lot of field goals, but we know the leg strength is there.
We do. All right, so 1st and 10 for Pat. Definitely Goffstown is aggressively trying to stop the run, and Pat McDougal is able to keep his feet moving, and they cannot bring him to the ground. Great second effort by McDougal.
Pat McDougal has really turned into one heck of a football player over 3 years.
He has.
And if I were a college coach, with his size and with his arm strength, I'd be looking very seriously at him. And his leadership skills as well.
So 2nd down and 1 coming up here for Winnacunnet. Ball spotted at the 9-yard line. 4 minutes, 21 seconds and counting. Winnacunnet 14-6 lead, knocking on the door to try to get the knockout touchdown. This time McDougal gives it up the middle.
Powers up the middle.
And it's going to be down at the 1-yard line.
Giving up a touchdown now for Goffstown, Keith, it's probably fatal. It's probably fatal. That probably is the ball game.
There's an injured player here for Goffstown, so we'll take a moment. It's hard to see from this vantage point who the injury is on. But you're right, MH. You know, it's been just such a hard-fought game. Like every time you play this Goffstown team, they're so well coached and they're very physical. And it is a heavy day of football playing these guys.
It really is. And it requires, and don't forget, both sides of the line for Winnacunnet are really big and really strong. Right. And these guys, they stand up to it. You know, they really haven't gotten worn down.
No. So as the teams take a knee here, hopefully the injured player for Goffstown is okay. You know, we were talking about things a little bit earlier at MH, which is the state championship game for Division I is next week. So, you know, for whichever team, and this is a good sign with one of the, looks like one of the linemen for Goffstown was able to get off under his own power. So that's great news. Anyway, so 3 minutes, 59 seconds left here, 14-6. We'll get back to game action now. First down and goal from the 1. Winnacunnet with an opportunity here to go to Durham next Saturday with a victory today. Pat McDougal under center. This time he tries to quarterback sneak it, and he is, we're waiting for the signal. And we have a signal. Touchdown, McDougal. 1-yard sneak. Winnacunnet goes up 20-6 pending the extra point.
And with 3:37 left, they're in good shape, Keith. It's a semifinal game. Goffstown still has a lot of good athletes on the field that could score quick, but you've got to be comfortable where you're set.
Yeah, certainly they put themselves in a very good position here for the rest of the ball game. Kevin Gagnon's going to come on to try to turn this into a 15-point game. Pending the extra point. La Rosa in to hold. Snaps down, the kick is up, and it's right through the uprights. And as the teams head back up the field, 3 minutes, 37 seconds remaining, fourth quarter. Winnacunnet 21, Goffstown 6. And we'll try to get some other score updates here for today. And certainly, as we had talked about, the other state semifinal was Pinkerton at Salem, and that was a halftime where Pinkerton was up 31-13, which is unbelievable. So we'll have to, certainly take a look at that one. But that one looked like that was certainly in favor of the Astros. So could be that matchup next week. MH. We'll have to wait and see. We're not going to count our chickens here quite yet, but with 3:37 left. You know, Goffstown's going to be in, again, they're going to be have to get the football down the field in the hurry mode.
That's right. And anytime number 9 is back there for Goffstown, the game isn't over, Keith.
No, and you've seen stranger things too, MH.
No, I know. Yeah.
That being said, Kevin Gagnon's going to try to first do something about that by trying to hopefully send this ball into the end zone. Oh, they squib kick it. They keep it away from Duval, and it's given to an up back.
No, he kept it, Keith. Number 5 kept the football, and he's still going down the field.
And they can't tackle him. My goodness gracious, that did not work out well for Winnacunnet. He got all the way to midfield. So they tried to squib it to keep it away from Duval or one of their speed guys, and instead they gave up great field position.
Yeah, they really did. I think, again, it's very difficult for them to figure out who had the football in that particular situation. All right, now it's time for the defense. This is what you want. You got 3:27 left. You've got to try to stop Goffstown. You stop him one time, and you're going to Durham.
All right, so 3:27 left here, 21-6, and really not much wiggle room left here for Goffstown. They're in desperate mode. 1st and 10. Keith looks to throw up the field, and the pass is complete over to the sideline to number 81, and that was Jared Heinrich. First down. It's right at the sticks. Oh, maybe not a first. Yeah, they're going to move. That's because we have such eagle eyes up here.
Yeah. And remember, a field goal does nothing for Goffstown, so they've got to go in and try to score a quick touchdown.
Well, so far they're moving quick. They're already on the Winnacunnet 39. 1st and 10. Keith looks to throw, and a little bit of miscommunication. Evan Welsh made the out, and 81 made the streak, and I think he's holding his not sure what's going on over there.
Yeah, it was obviously a breakdown between the wide receiver and Keith.
Yeah. His wide receiver looked like he was wide open, streaking up the sideline. But Evan certainly read the quarterback really well there. 2nd and 10. And 3 receivers here near side. They always put Duval in the slot, and he's in the slot again on 2nd and 10. Oh, this is trouble.
He's going to run the ball.
Andrew Mills has had a very active ball game today. Called his number out a lot. He's been very, very effective. He and Fennessy both.
As they have been throughout the entire season.
They have been. 37-yard line. It's going to bring up a 3rd down and 8. 2 minutes, 56 seconds and counting. Again, Goffstown has all their timeouts. They are not quite yet spending them, but they sort of need something where they can score quick, use timeouts to get back off the field. And this time it's Duval who catches it in traffic, and he's a load to take down, but still short of a 1st down. It's going to bring up a 4th down for Goffstown. No guarantee here with 2 minutes, 33 seconds and counting. 4th quarter, 21-6. Winnacunnet, 15-point lead.
And they know, Keith, if they don't get a 1st down, ball game's over.
Yeah.
So I got to believe you're going to your star, one of your stars, and that's Keith or Duval. I wouldn't be surprised to see Keith keep this.
4th and 3. Keith looks to throw. He goes up the field. There's nobody home, and it is thrown out of bounds. Incomplete.
No flags.
No flags on the field, and an injured
That's Mills,
player,
I believe.
Andrew Mills, who is on the ground. That's not good.
He's the emotional leader of this entire Winnacunnet team, Keith.
And he's on 2 feet coming off the field.
It looks good. He's the emotional leader. He's a fantastic football player on both sides, and he's been that way since he was a little kid. Captain Andrew Mills.
So ball spotted at the 32. Winnacunnet with 2 minutes and 6 seconds left here, MH, with a 15-point lead. And, at this point in time, all Goffstown can do is try to go 3 and out and burn all their timeouts, because Winnacunnet is very likely going to be running the football. And 1 1st down should probably do it for them. So
I would think 1 1st down, even with the timeouts, they'll be fine. And that's how he's Pat's under center.
So McDougal on 1st down under center.
And
he keeps the football, and he gets 8 yards.
That's a 3rd or 4th time we've seen that play available to So Pat, I don't know if he's calling that himself on the field or if that's a planned play, but he's been very successful with it.
Yeah, they've just Goffstown only has a 3-man front there, right? So he's able to basically sort of key off the center and just turn the nose tackle slightly. And just there's a big hole there. That's the reality.
Yeah, and the clock continues to run. So Goffstown not calling a timeout there.
They are not, and with just 1:32 left to go, down 21-6.
They're going to keep those timeouts and go out quietly, I guess.
Probably call one here. And there's a second down play that goes for not much. And again, Goffstown was definitely blitzing. All right, so 1:22, clock stopped, and it's a false start against Winnacunnet. So see what they do there. I don't know if you want to give them another down or not, but that's why they're looking over to their coaching staff to see what they want to do. They're going to take the penalty. All right, so 1:22 here, 21-6. And ball spotted at the 34-yard line. So again, the clock's not moving here, so Winnacunnet in their standard veer look, second down. They run that little counter again to Fuller, and he doesn't have much.
And for the first time, we've, in my experience at Winnacunnet Football at Alumni Stadium, we have police guard along the fence line to make sure that the fans don't charge the field.
Probably makes sense. Those field goal posts look pretty good where they're at. Yeah. So 57 seconds left and counting. Third down. Ball spotted at the 35. And Winnacunnet goes into a very conservative look here on third down. They run a play. It's just a play straight up the middle. And less than 30 seconds remaining. And that point here, there is a injury on the field and a timeout taken by Goffstown.
Well, Keith, I think what we witnessed today is the biggest win in the history of Winnacunnet football.
Certainly Winnacunnet has certainly had their share of championships over the year. Last time again in 2012 when they beat that good Bedford team back then, but certainly at the Division I level where it's a little bit tougher, right? You got bigger teams, you got bigger schools you're playing against, and this Winnacunnet team, MH, at least for my money, this has been probably the most successful run at sort of the highest division in the state, and just tremendous achievement for the boys.
And these kids, Keith, have been playing together since they were little kids, and so they know each other very well, and they've always succeeded. They succeeded when they were freshmen. They succeeded on the JV level, and I expect them to play a heck of a game in Durham next Saturday.
So 34 seconds left. Kevin's got to get the punt off clean. He does, and it's a big kick. It sends Duval all the way back to his 20. So he's going to try to take a shot at it, and he's just swallowed up and tackled, and he's down at the 23 with just 22 seconds remaining. Really not enough time for Goffstown, down 21-6.
Right, and it'll be interesting to see if Goffstown just takes the knee and throws the football over to the umpire, because the bottom line is this ball game's over, and the Winnacunnet Warriors, I didn't think I'd say at the beginning of the season. I knew they were going to be good, but for me to say that we'll see it for a state championship next week is just incredible.
It is incredible. And, we're going to try to get some we'll try to get some final scores here from the other game. Again, the last game that we saw was Pinkerton leading 31-13. That was a halftime score with Salem. So Keith here to drop back. He throws up the field, and he has Duval, who was double covered in the pass, fell incomplete with just 15 seconds remaining.
And the fans at Alumni Stadium, many of whom are still here, and the hill is packed, Keith. They're starting to celebrate. They know they're going on for a state championship.
Absolutely, and that state championship game is going to be Saturday, 6 o'clock at University of New Hampshire at Cal Stadium. So really looking forward to that brand new, beautiful facility at the university. And just like that, there's a big gainer down the side, and it is a first down for Goffstown with just 6 seconds left. So there will be one more play.
Yeah, we knew this team was good when they came through that 3-game stretch with Bedford, this Goffstown club, and Exeter, and came out with 3-0.
Yep.
We knew this was a special team to watch.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And congratulations to these seniors. Congratulations to all these seniors who have put their heart and soul into this program for so many years and now get to reap the benefits. And the same congratulations to this coaching staff.
Yeah, absolutely. Congratulations to players, the coaches, and, as you said, MH, this is a very special day today. They've gone through undefeated and played a very, very, very worthwhile opponent. Goffstown was a tremendous team all year. Nothing to hang their heads about. They had a tremendous season. And reality is they pretty much swept all their football games, with the exception of just 2 tough games against Winnacunnet. But Goffstown was an awesome team all year, and their kids deserve a lot of credit as well as their season comes to an end here today.
And I tell you about Goffstown, certainly it was the best defense we've seen, and I've got to believe that Duval is one of the best players we've seen from an individual level.
Yeah, absolutely. So, as we keep looking towards next Saturday, MH, and it's set up where it's Division III, then Division II, then Division I. That Division I game is going to be right around a 6 o'clock start at the University of New Hampshire. So if you're going to be going out to that game next week, make sure you get there extra early with the parking, the way they have the parking set up, and all the folks there. We want you to make sure that you arrive there early and safely, and really enjoy what should be a tremendous opportunity for Winnacunnet to potentially win a state championship and do it at the Division I level.
That's right, and both teams, we don't know the final score, but we assume it's going to be Pinkerton, but either of those teams draw very well. So I think everybody in the community, if they can get out to that game and support this undefeated Winnacunnet club, I think that would be just very heartwarming for both the coaching staff and the school itself.
Yeah, absolutely. So the latest score that we had here for the Pinkerton game was 6 minutes left, and Pinkerton was up 38-28 with 6 minutes to go. So, but that's sort of the best thing that we have here right now, MH, as we leave. So, and as our good colleague here next to us, Coach Kobelarsik, told us, who does the PA so wonderfully, it's now 45-28. Pinkerton, so Winnacunnet's going to have an opportunity to go play those Pinkerton Astros likely next week for the state championship in the Division I level.
Yeah, let's get out and support this club, fans. They are just having a ball on the field. They've been so successful, and to beat this Goffstown team, who was extremely talented, it was just a great accomplishment.
It was. So we're going to first thank very much all of our folks that do production at Channel 22 in Hampton and Channel 22 in Northampton. We've been doing some simulcast broadcasts over the last few weeks, and we've worked with some awesome people. And the reality is that these opportunities to watch these things on these broadcasts don't go off without a litany of folks, both from Northampton and of course the McCains, who we've worked with for years here in Hampton, who just do a tremendous job and are great members of the community to help put these on for you. For some of you folks that want to watch these on TV or watch rebroadcasts of these at home. So we thank everybody for all your support of the local community. And MH, this is another fun year. Last home game for us here. And one more to watch next week.
One more to watch next week at the University of New Hampshire. And it's been a great season, Keith. Thanks for everything. You've done such a wonderful job all season.
Yeah, you as well. And we're going to sign off here. Great night. 21-6 the final. Winnacunnet moves on to the state championship in Division I next Saturday, 6 o'clock at UNH. Take care.
Well,